Everyone, Matt here from Herbal House, and in this short video we are going to be taking a look at the Canna Coco bricks. Well, to be fair, this does cover the entirety of compressed cocoa, at least good quality stuff, which the Canna is certainly no doubt. So before we start on actually preparing or prepping this Canna Coco for some pots, I just want to run through the benefits of cocoa, because a lot of people are unsure about why they should transfer their plants to cocoa or even give it a go. But for a lot of people, cocoa is a great way to avoid pests, because when you're using a potting mix, yes, it's great, it's got plenty of nutrient available, you do run the risk of pests, and quite often it is a roll of the dice of what you're going to get. So for cocoa, it's completely bland, you don't have to risk that. It's pH neutral, environmentally friendly, reusable, great aeration, water drainage. There's really not a lot it can't do, apart from the fact it doesn't include nutrients. So for a lot of you, you'll be learning to feed a fair bit more nutrient than you would if you were traditionally using a potting mix, where you kind of just throw it at your plants here and there. So in this case, you're going to be adding it much more frequently. But with cocoa, it's just a much more forgiving medium to work with. You can't overwater your plants and cause issues with that pH neutrality. When you're adding nutrient, it is much more forgiving in that regard. So for a lot of people, it's well worth a go, and seeing how you find it. You can also add things like perlite if you want to add more water retention, which is quite a common mix, but a lot of people will use cocoa as is. So to get started, I've got this brick here from the Canna range, which makes 40 litres rehydrated, the small thing here, but I've already opened one, so I'll just grab that down here. And this is going to make 20 litres. This is half the packet here, and there's 2 bricks in the bottom. So those bricks can be broken off and put to the side if you want to make just 10 litres. So we're going to start with this here. Now, we're going to rearrange the camera so you can see what's going to happen, but this is dehydrated and compressed, and what we're going to do is, got me watering can here. Now, if you can use warm water, it's going to be a lot better, but it's a really cold day today, so we're working with cold water. So we'll set up the camera and show you what happens when we add the water. It's probably going to be a bit of a time lapse, but at least you can see what to expect pretty much. So as you can see here, I've taken, well, this is actually half the packet of the cocoa here, which is the 2 bricks, going to make the 20 litres. Now, the nice thing about the Canna is it pretty much comes in a bag ready for you to just add water to it, which is really nice and convenient. So starting here, I am just going to start pouring in water. Now, it recommends about half a litre to a litre at a time, giving it a chance to expand. So I'm just going to pour that in the top there. Now, I'm aiming for the holes in the cocoa brick because I'm pretty sure that's what they're there for, to be honest. It allows the water to really get in there fast. And I'm just going to keep topping that up until we can see a water level coming through. Nice and awkward coming from this angle. Now, I'm definitely adding more than half a litre to a litre straight off the bat, but already it's expanding pretty quick. It's soaking up that water very fast. Alright, so I feel like that's enough for now, and we'll just let that sit and absorb that water before I add some more. Okay, so pretty much already it has soaked up a vast majority of the water, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to agitate it if I can. Oh yeah, so the top layer is reasonably soft, bottom layer is still pretty hard, so you can add a fair bit more water. Now, what will happen is essentially it's going to fill up this entire bag with cocoa once it's completely hydrated and become nice and loose. Now, I managed to go through my watering can, so I'm just going to let Cameron go and refill that for me. Thanks, Cameron. Best cameraman. Alright, so just going to add a bit more water. What we're going to do now is I've got some air pots here just next to me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them up and we'll just transplant some cocoa over and see how it looks. Okay, so we've pretty much rehydrated the full 20 litres there. Of course, these packs will make 40 litres, just so you're aware, but for the sake of it, we've got one 19 litre pot here. Oh, sorry, air pot, so it's pretty much going to fill this entire thing, so I feel like I'll just go in there with 2 hands and just start scooping it out. Now, if you were to use something like Herbie's Terra mix or flour mix, this would be probably the time you'd start mixing it in with the organic acids and worm castings. Great time actually, but obviously we'll cover that in another video. So I'm just packing in here. Now, not going to fill it right up to the top, still actually got a fair bit left over. So yep, made a nice mess. Okay, so as you can see here, this is just one of the 19 litre fabric pots. Oh, sorry, this actually might not be 19, this must be a bit small, this must be about 13 litres. So made a huge mess. There's still a bit of water draining out of the side of the pot, you can probably see that, but that's the beauty of these air pots, that they have fantastic drainage. So with that in mind, just placing the cocoa on top, oh gosh, it's going to make a huge mess. All right, so with the cocoa sitting in there, allow it to drain, and then you're pretty much good to go. And like I said, you can mix perlite in there. And if you wanted to add some organic mix or natural fertilizers, now would be a good time to do it, to mix it in there before you put the plants in. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or anything at all, give us a call at Herbal House. Thanks for watching.